Welcome to Whispering Archives, where history doesn't speak, it whispers across the centuries. Imagine the scene. The crowd roared. The ropes were ready. The trapdoor creaked open. But sometimes, death itself hesitates. Tonight, you'll meet three people who stared into the abyss, felt the noose tighten around their necks, and somehow, against all odds, walked back from the gallows. From England to America and Scotland, their stories are strange, chilling, and completely true. Let's begin with the tale of Joseph Samuel, a man living in the late 1790s, convicted of murder. His fate was sealed, death by hanging. The day of his execution arrived. A grim spectacle for all to see. The hangman, a figure of solemn duty, pulled the lever. The trapdoor swung open, and Joseph dropped. But then, a sharp crack echoed through the square. The rope had snapped. The crowd gasped in disbelief. There lay Joseph, bruised and shaken, but undeniably alive. This threw the legal system into chaos. The law had been carried out, yet the man was not dead. Could they hang him again? Was it a sign from a higher power, or just a faulty rope? After long and careful deliberation, the court made a stunning decision. They canceled his sentence. Joseph Samuel, the man who was meant to die, was allowed to walk free. Some whispered it was sheer luck, or one in a million chance. Others believed that fate itself had intervened, choosing him for a different path. His story became a legend, a testament to the unpredictable nature of life and death. Now, we travel across the Atlantic to the United States in the 1940s, to a story that is both terrifying and deeply unsettling. Meet Willie Francis, a teenager sentenced to death, not by hanging, but by the electric chair. The moment came, he was strapped in, the final words were spoken, and the switch was thrown. A surge of power was meant to end his life, but something went wrong. The current failed, the chair malfunctioned. Willie survived the first execution attempt, enduring an unimaginable horror. The state, however, was determined to see the sentence through and demanded a second attempt, but the world was now watching. His case sparked a national debate about justice, cruelty, and the very definition of punishment. After years of legal battles and appeals that reached the highest courts, Willie eventually avoided another trip to the electric chair. He had lived through a nightmare few could even fathom, literally dying and returning to life, forever marked by the day the machine failed. Our final story takes us to 18th century Scotland, to the bustling city of Edinburgh. Here, a man named James Hogg stood accused of robbery and was condemned to the gallows. The scene was set, just as it had been for countless others before him. The trapdoor opened, he fell, and the rope did its job. For a few tense moments, it seemed his story was over, but as the crowd began to disperse, a faint sound was heard. A gasp, a struggle for air. James Hogg wasn't dead. By the time everyone realized what was happening, he was conscious, fighting for breath. The law at the time was clear: a sentence carried out, successful or not, was considered complete. They couldn't punish him again for the same crime, and so James Hogg walked away from the gallows, forever carrying the incredible title, "The Man Who Cheated Death." He had faced the ultimate penalty and, through a bizarre twist of fortune, lived to tell the tale. 3 lives, 3 ropes, 3 impossible brushes with death. They all faced the hangman's noose, felt its cold, unforgiving grip, and yet, life pulled them back from the brink. Some call it luck, some call it fate, but history remembers them as the impossible survivors who stared death in the face and walked away. Thanks for joining us at the Whispering Archives. If you were captivated by these tales of survival, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next journey into the shadows of the past.